The victims were men, women, and children. They were buried in mass graves, not the dignified way their families would have wanted. People here say many of them were murdered in their sleep.
We were sleeping when we heard gunshots. They started shooting from a nearby village before arriving at our village, shooting and killing people as they moved.
They add to the 52 people killed last week in the same area of central Nigeria's Plateau State. The violence is fueled by ethnic and religious tensions on one hand and shrinking access to land and resources, as well as the impact of climate change on the other. And as the families of the victims say their last farewell, there are fears of more attacks or retaliation that usually follow such violence in this region. Officials say security has been stepped up around communities. But most often, perpetrators of the violence find a way to launch their attacks. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Abuja.
And now on to Western African nation of Nigeria. A devastating attack by armed gunmen has claimed dozens of lives. Now, the violence broke out in a Plateau State in central Nigeria. On Sunday night, gunmen stormed a village and opened fire. Many of the victims were children and the elderly, unable to escape the attack. Now, reports say that homes were also torched and looted in the deadly raid. The Red Cross has confirmed at least 52 deaths and say that search operations are still underway. Amnesty International puts the death toll slightly higher. At least 54 people have been killed in this brutal assault. Now, the motive remains unclear, but the attackers are believed to be Muslim gunmen who targeted a Christian farming community. Such ethnic and religiously linked violence is commonplace in the Plateau State. Now, the region has a history of conflict between cattle herders and farmers, a struggle mainly rooted in land ownership and access to farmland. Now, most herders belong to the Fulani group and are Muslim, while the farmers are primarily Christian. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. As the population grows, land has become increasingly scarce, leading to frequent confrontations over grazing spaces. Climate change has made the situation worse. Drought and desertification have pushed herders further south into the already crowded farmlands. Now, this conflict has dragged on for years and has grown into one of Nigeria's deepest security crises. In just under 2 weeks, over 100 people have been killed, all in the same central state of Plateau. Last week alone, gunmen killed 52 people and forced nearly 2,000 to flee their homes. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the latest attacks and has promised a full investigation. The governor of Plateau State has also spoken out, saying that these are not isolated incidents, but a pattern that must be broken. A report by Amnesty International revealed a grim statistic. Over 1,300 people were killed in Plateau State in just 3 months. Now, these deaths took place between December of 2023 and February of 2024. Tinubu's response to this escalating crisis has been widely criticized. Opposition leaders and civil society groups argue that the president's security promises no longer reflect the reality on the ground. The communal violence grows as Nigeria's northeast state has been reeling from a decade-long insurgency linked to terror group Boko Haram. It has claimed thousands of lives and has displaced millions. As the bloodshed continues and pressure mounts, the question remains: how will authorities address the escalating security situation?
Unidentified attackers have killed at least about 52 people in Nigeria's Plateau State, this according to a Red Cross source. And this is the latest bout of violence in a religiously mixed region that is known for its communal conflict and deadly land disputes. Now, the attack took place in the villages of Zaik and Kimakpa on the Basa local government area. It's come less than 2 weeks after armed men struck multiple villages in the Bokos area, also in the Plateau State, killing at least about 48 people. The land disputes, often between the Muslim Fulani herders and the mostly Christian farmers, are prone to descend into deadly violence in the Plateau State. Now, the wounded are currently receiving treatment at a hospital in Jos. Eyewitnesses came forth to describe the horrific incident.
It was gunmen who spoke the Fulani dialect that invaded our community. They killed many people. My son was shot while trying to escape.
My brother, he was killed. It is not shooting. They didn't shoot them, but it is machete that they use on them. You see, the wound that this boy has, that's where they killed his father. They slaughter him and his younger brother. They slaughter him here. And a little young girl. I don't think that the girl, she's up to 10 months, and they killed the girl. They killed the girl again.
The Plateau State government has condemned the killings in strong terms, calling them unprovoked. Though millions of Nigerians of different backgrounds live side by side, communal violence often flares up in the Plateau State. As Africa's most populous country has continued to grow, so has the amount of land that the farmers use, while grazing routes have come under stress from climate change. The land grabbing and political and economic tensions between the local indigenous and those considered outsiders, as well as the influx of hardline Muslim and Christian preachers, has heightened divisions in recent decades.
The assailants, believed to be Fulani headers, also looted and burned homes, leaving survivors traumatized and displaced. This comes barely 2 weeks after 52 persons were killed in some communities of the Bokos local government area of the North Central State. Sadly, the situation in Plateau State almost seems irredeemable, as thousands have been killed in the endless violence between different ethnic groups in the state since 1994.
Monday's attack comes exactly 1 week after another raid claimed 52 lives. Gunmen suspected to be cattle rustlers raided 2 villages in Plateau State's Bassa district before shooting and hacking their victims. Dozens more were injured. A resident interviewed by Reuters said a mass burial was conducted for the victims. Plateau, in Nigeria's center, is one of the country's most ethnically diverse states. Intercommunal fights pitting mostly Christian farmers and predominantly Muslim herders are common. Amnesty International said the gunmen also destroyed and looted homes. In a statement, the organization blamed inexcusable security failures for Monday's attack.